cool. Vocal dope in the booth. Eric Brick be the truth. That's why I get the.
Let's side by side, together as brothers. Can't nothing stop us. Nothing.
Small men hijacking this club, letting their ego, their weakness dictate.
Santa Padre is on their last leg. The whole club is hanging by a thread. Let the dogs eat each other. We'll feast on the bones.
What's going on, YouTube? We back in the Low Key Cave, Keyshawn Imes YouTube page, aka Mr. Low Key, and we are back with another TV show review, and we are doing Mayans season 4, episodes 1 through 4 review. By the way, after I do episodes 1 through 4 review, I'll start doing weekly reviews starting in episode 5 and starts going forward as far as moving forward with the Mayans MC reviews as far as season 4. Going into the season though, I was definitely looking forward to see what was going to happen with everything that happened to Easy. You know, his old girl leaving him, him pretty much facing the fact that who he was as a person, him pretty much coming into the terms with the fact that what he does and who he is, especially as long as he's dealing with the Mayans and as far as the club or whatever, this is going to be the person he is. And not only dealing with that, the fact that he pretty much his pops told old girl, yo, you need to leave. My son ain't shit. Like, I ain't trying to say he said it like that, but he was basically saying that. And man, but all of that, we had the whole thing as far as season 3 finale, and the big thing with all the other Mayans, because you know it was inter-turmoil within the group as far as the Mayans go. And then we had the big thing at the end with Easy sitting out front of the San Pedro club or whatever, and you had all the Mayans charging in, guns blazing and everything, and that was a hell of a cliffhanger. And that's where we go into episode 1 as far as season 4. We pretty much got an all-out war going on within the Mayans versus Mayans, and everybody is coming at the San Pedro clubhouse, and that's where they got the clubhouse surrounded. I was actually surprised they held this shit down as long as they did. Like, honestly, because I'm sitting here like, bro, ain't no fucking way. But Easy got like some military skills or something in the background? Wasn't he in the army or something? If I'm not mistaken, before he went to jail or something. I got to go back to Mayan season 1. But yeah, it's pretty much an all-out war in this first episode, and that's what the first episode is completely about. It's just them in the war and them fighting, shooting, and everything. And we get a couple of casualties. Not anybody that I think I can recognize, but yeah, we get a couple people that actually get knocked off or whatever. But I don't think it's people that we actually recognize or know is within the Mayans group or whatever. But this first episode, leading our way into the end, pretty much sets the tone moving forward. Because like I said, you have Chala, what's this nigga name? The bald-headed dude who's pretty much leading the charge to go head-to-head with the other Mayans as far as at San Pedro. You have him and his people pretty much coming in, and by the end of this episode, you pretty much have Easy being like, yo, I'm gonna just go out here and just try to dial this shit down. I mean, we are outnumbered, we outgunned. This is it. It's over. And you still have like women and shit is in the clubhouse, especially Angel's future baby moms. She's in there or whatever. But Alvarez ends up showing up at the end, pretty much setting the tone that he is going to be, and he is the leader of the Mayans. And I'm like, okay, this is where we going with this. As far as him coming in, and Alvarez pretty much putting his foot down as being the head honcho once again of the Mayans. You got to remember, this is Alvarez from Sons of Anarchy. You know him and the whole thing with him and Clay, and having that whole thing that they had with the Suns, which is about to make another play into this new season of Mayans, which I'm going to get to. But it's just, man, looking at Alvarez, man, I kind of felt bad. Like, I'm being dead at, I felt bad for Alvarez, because it's like, nigga, like, he done been through it. Like, in the way that they start mentioning certain things that he's went through, we all forget the fact that he killed his son. Well, Happy killed his son, and the fact that they mention that in here is bringing up some of those old things as far as from the original Sons of Anarchy, because that's about to play a major part in this new series. So, it's just with Alvarez showing up, it's like, damn, my man done really been through the 9. Like I said, the whole thing with the son, and you got to remember, he can have this whole thing going on with Jax Teller when their relationship And you know what Jax tried to pretty much make the promise? Pretty much keep a thing at a peace, making sure everything runs smoothly. But when you doing this type of thing and you in this type of organization, shit is not gonna never keep running smooth as it is. So it was definitely interesting to see how this played out, and with Alvarez coming back in and pretty much taking the lead as far as being the head of the Mayans. And that's where we going to see episode 2. We pretty much do a time jump 4 months ahead, and Alvarez is sitting at the head of the table. He's pretty much took the charge, and Bishop has been demoted to vice president, which he does not like at all. And that's where we get this little turmoil going in between Bishop and Alvarez. Bishop is pretty much at all-out war, not only in his head, but just within the group. Like, he is not, like, I don't know if it's this thing with ego, but I ain't gonna front. Bishop is starting to remind me of Clay. He is really starting to remind me of Clay, because it's like this whole thing with ego, power, and whatever, and they really started to get into that in this episode too. Especially with I forgot the new guy's name, but it's kind of this guy that Easy starts to kind of build a relationship with. That's a part of Chaka's group. Man, what's this nigga name? The bald-headed dude, man, who's in charge of the other Mayans, man. I'm getting upset that I can't remember this nigga's name. But China, oh man, I'm honestly trying to see if I can find this guy's name right quick. It's the bald guy it's the bald-headed guy though, right here. That's the group. It's at the bottom of the screen. That's the leader of this group though. But anyway, man, because I can't find his name, but it's China. Y'all let me know in the comment section, man. I'm sorry I can't get this guy's name right. But Easy and the guy from the other guy of the Mayans group, they kind of formed this little relationship, because it's taking you almost back to Jax, especially with Easy. When he's getting this thing, well, I mean, not really in this episode, but it's this whole thing with the people clashing as far as how Bishop is acting. Like I said, he's putting you in that mind of Clay, but it's not just Bishop, it's also the other guy, Chaka, or whatever his name is, the Chaka, the bald-headed guy. It's like this whole thing with these two, especially these two, with Bishop and Chaka, and Chala, whatever his damn name is. I'm sorry, y'all, but these two are the main ones that's really, because they the leaders of their two former groups, or well, their groups, especially Bishop, and it seems like they the two that's butting heads the most, that's leading the charge as far as everybody that's following behind them, that's going their ways, that's pretty much following behind what their actions is doing. And that's where you bring into play as far as the new guy, or the guy who's with Chaka that's talking to Easy, and he's kind of got that mind frame of like, yo, we got these two guys that's going at it, these egos, and this pretty much was the downfall of these clubs or whatever. As far as him going into, I guess, somewhat of a little bit of history of the Mayans motorcycle club. But as far as episode 2, we not only get the reveal, well, not really reveal, but Alvarez showing his leader role and him taking over as far as the Mayans. We also get Coco, them pretty much rebuilding up on the club, and I'm glad Coco's got his stuff back together. I mean, he's off the drugs, he's clean, and I'm glad to see that. I'm hoping we're gonna get some more of that good. I was hoping we got, well, I forgot, he was just now coming back. He didn't have himself together, but you know, he was like the sniper guy. Like, the man he was on some militant shit in the first like couple seasons of Mayans. Seasons 1 and 2, seasons 1 and 2, it's only 4 seasons. But he was like one of those guys, I was like, yo, he own it. That's who I'm thinking about probably that we went to the army. I think it was Coco who was the one that was in the army. But yeah, as far as episode 2, you got Coco and his guy as far as, see, this is what I am with the names, man. We dealing with a lot of characters, by the way. But you got him and this guy pretty much going at it, because he was the guy that pretty much came in and saved Coco. You know what I'm saying? When he was out there in Meth Mountain, pretty much losing his shit. But besides that, we got Coco girl and his sister, man. I felt bad for Coco's girl in this, man. Like, his sister was being on some demon time. Like, I get it, but it's like, yo, you being an asshole, man. I'm sorry, because it's just the look of Coco's girl, and you can tell she's clean too. They both are clean. She out here working, trying to maintain, and it's like his sister just on some other shit, and it's like, you should be happy. Your brother clean, everybody good now, but I kind of get it, because his sister is like, yo, you the one that got him out, and even though I feel like Coco's a grown-ass man, he made his own decisions, but yeah, she's going through it with her sister a lot. As far as Easy go, besides what's going on and Alvarez taking the position, but not only that, we got some more going on with Alvarez taking over this position. Does this happen? Oh, I'm not sure if this happened in this episode. I could be wrong, but Alvarez ends up demoting Bishop. And I think that happens in episode 3. I think this honestly happens in episode 3 if I'm not mistaken. So I think I'm getting a little too ahead of myself, so I'm going to wait on that. Yeah, because this episode 2 is mainly about them coming with the grips that all the Mayans are pretty much in-house together, because most of the Mayans that was coming at them, as far as from Chaka's group, they are in San Pedro now, as far as the clubhouse, because Everraz is pretty much resigning and pretty much giving out the rules or whatever in the intake, and it's pretty much showing he's the head as far as San Pedro's club or whatever. So that comes mostly into episode 2, as far as everybody pretty much being forced to work together and being forced to bond some type of relationship because of Everraz coming in and pretty much forming this, well, not forming an alliance, but taking over, so it wouldn't be no more bloodshed within the Mayans organization. But not only that, we get a look at some Sons of Anarchy members who I don't know nothing about. I don't know none of these Sons of Anarchy members, but I think this is just another charter, because we do get mentions and we get names, especially with Chibs. So I'm hoping, and I do think down the line we're going to get some original Sons of Anarchy. Probably a happier end up coming back, but I'm talking about Tiggs, Chibs, but Chibs is on another show. He doing Power right now, which another show I watch. Who else was they like the only 2 main original ones that was alive as far as Happy, Tiggs, and Chibs from Sons of Anarchy? I have to think about that, man. I'm going to have to go back and watch that last episode of Sons of Anarchy to find out. But yeah, as far as episode 2, we do get some Sons of Anarchy members pretty much talking about the Mayans, but they're really not trying to go to war, but it's a certain member of the Sons that's really trying to go at them or whatever. But the rest of them really not trying to do that. They already talking about how the Mayans have beef within their own crew, so it's like, let them do what they're gonna do to each other. We'll do what we do after they done pretty much killing each other off. And like I said, this makes me think about the whole thing with Everraz and Jax. You know, they had this whole relationship bond that they had built over years. Like, they was going at it, especially in that first season of Sons of Anarchy, when you had Clay and Everraz and them going at it with each other as far as the Sons and Mayans. I feel like we basically going back in time and basically doing a rehash, not really a rehash, but we do basically the whole thing that Everraz and Jax had built together. And then that's why I said I felt bad for Everraz, because you got him coming in and pretty much like, damn, I ain't got no choice, because I mean, this is something that I built, and this is something he helped build, and it's like, now this shit about to go down the drain because of this whole ego and beef shit that's going on within the organization. So I have to come into play and pretty much take the charge. And you know, he has this whole thing going on. You know, he got a whole little family thing going on as far as Everraz. Like, it's really gonna be crazy to see how this plays out with him, especially with how Bishop is pretty much taking things. But once again, with Easy, we get a bit of flashbacks. We get some more of Easy's time in prison, which is interesting. And we come across a guy who pretty much, I guess, was the leader of a gang that he was a part of in prison. We get the behind the scenes look at how the way he came about, especially with exercise and the training or whatever, and we see where he got that from as far as in prison or whatever. And we see kind of his like militant mind frame and the way he goes about things and why he is the way he is, especially with prison. And I like the way they doing it, because we never have got like a full front look at what went on with him as far as when he went to prison or whatever. We've just got these images and flashbacks all the way going from season 1 to now. And I like what they're doing with that, because we really don't have a full-on background on Easy besides some of the things that happened with him as far as the deal or whatnot with the DEA and all of that stuff. But it's really interesting to see them doing that. We actually get a look at Emily too, man. Her pretty much showing that she's a civilian out here, like no more cartel money and all of that, you know, the fancy life or the rich life or whatever. She's out here living a normal life. And I had one question, like, where was her son? Where is he at? Like, what's going on? Did she do something with him as far as like give him away? I don't know, but she's pretty much on her own. She's pretty much by herself as far as Emily. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with that too. Other than that, that's pretty much how episode 2 go out. Pretty much got Easy still not talking to his pops. Yeah, he pretty much not feeling that shit. But other than that, we do get some things with Sons, involving the Sons of Anarchy. One of the people who's working at San Pedro, as far as one of the bartenders or one of the females or whatever, they end up coming across a jacket. And this jacket actually belongs to one of the Sons members, the original Sons member that came in, I think, at the end of, or the last season of Sons. But you remember old buddy who killed him in season 3 of Mayans. And you know, the other dudes tried to cover it up by putting his body in the crate or whatever. I don't know how, I don't know what, but somebody ends up coming across that jacket or something in episode 2. So I think this is where we're going to get that lead off as far as the war that we're going to get brewing between the Suns and the Mayans. Because like I said, we already had one guy that was in the Suns pretty much wanting to go to war with the Mayans already. Going into episode 3, we pretty much get the leader of the the cartel that was going at Miguel's cartel in the last season, El Bacarto or some shit. Like, man, I'm sorry with these names. I'm sorry, I apologize with these names. But this new cartel got that the Mayans are working for now, because you know they're not working for Miguel's cartel anymore. They're working for this new guy over here in the pink shirt. And he was in last season a little bit, and he was the guy that pretty much helped set up the whole thing with the guy, I'm sorry, the names or whatever, man. Like I said, we're dealing with a lot of characters. But yeah, they're pretty much working for this new cartel dude. And going into this episode, we pretty much got them having to do something for the new cartel member as far as getting this guy who's over the cartel guy's money, as far as his banker or whatever. And he is the only one that has the information on this guy's money. He has everything as far as overseas accounts and all that. He's the one guy with all of this. And you pretty much have the Mayans, because he's on the run from the FBI as far as the this cartel member's accountant. That's who he is at. The Mayans pretty much are set on the task of getting this accountant into Mexico, since he's on the run from the FBI. Because he's, once again, is the only guy with all the information as far as this guy's funds and all his money or whatever, the overseas accounts and all of that. So they pretty much on the task of getting this guy across the border or whatever. But not only that, we pretty much get Angel. I haven't talked about Angel a lot, man, but he is dealing with the fact that still of the situation with his first child. And you know, he has a baby on the way. And I really think this played a lot into him being so happy for having this new baby on the way, feeling like he can kind of make up for the situation that happened last time with his other child, which he thinks is dead, which I've already been saying. I knew the baby wasn't dead or whatever, and I knew she had lied to him or whatever. As far as Alita, speaking of Alita, we do get her in this episode as far as episode 3. I have no idea what she's doing, but by the end, I kind of get an idea of what's going on. Once again, this is coming into play with her and Angel's baby. And I'm really interested to see what they're about to do with this. Because Alita is kind of like, again, with the way last season ended with her, what's up? Where's the little girl at? What happened with her? And the whole thing she had going on with her, I don't know. But Alita's pretty much on her own, man. She's by herself in this episode. And it's going to be interesting to see where she goes. But yes, Angel is definitely still dealing with everything that's going on with his child. He's always still looking at that one picture he still has in his phone. So it's interesting to see how he's doing with everything, especially within everything that's going on with the club, because he kind of had this nonchalant attitude about everything that's going on with the club right now. And you can see that he kind of distracted anyway with him still thinking about his child or whatever. It not only hurt him, the child, but he's thinking about Alita too. We also get the guy that was, I guess, that was the leader of the gang in prison. He's out of prison, and he comes into play as far as Easy. He was the one that left the note, and I didn't mention that, but this is one of the reasons Easy Pops ends up showing up, and he left a note. So I don't know what's going on with this guy. Is this guy like on the cover or some shit? Because he's, like I said, he just got out of prison. He come looking at Easy, and then he's asking Easy these certain questions, because you know Easy took a deal, he got some type of deal with the DEA or whatever while he was in prison. And I'm guessing this guy asking him like, how did you get out of prison so early, this and the third? My thing, and I'm going to thinking is, oh, did you get a deal too? Are you working with the DEA now and you trying to come in Easy about some shit, trying to set him up or something? But one thing I love about Easy, he ain't stupid. He not dumb at all. And it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out with him. Oh my gosh, these names, man. Steve, the prospect. You know Steve, the guy that killed himself at the end of season 3. Well, his mentor, who was the guy that was over him, he's having a hard time dealing with Steve's death. And I'm sorry I can't come up with my guy's name. Like I said, man, it's a lot of characters in this show, and I'm going to make sure going into episode 5, I got everybody named together. But yeah, as far as the prospect, Steve that killed himself, the guy that was over him, you know, like what they do as far as the whole motorcycle club organization when they have prospects, you know, mentors or whatever that was bringing them in. He's having a hard time dealing with everything, and he goes to talk to Steve's moms or whatever, and like he's just trying to deal with everything, and he is really having a tough time dealing with this stuff, because not only that, he's having this whole thing still going on with Avaraz, because Alvarez is pretty much trying to make sure who we can trust and who, as far as loyalty, especially when it comes to Bishop, because Bishop has this damn thing going on where he's on this power trip. Like, I ain't in one in charge now. Now I got to be undermined to this guy who Alvarez is the guy of the guys. I mean, he's the one. But yeah, he's dealing with that too, because Alvarez is pretty much coming to him, asking him like, do I have anything I need to be worrying about? But between him trying to do that, it's really this impact of Steve's death that's really hitting him. So yeah, he's dealing with a lot too. We also get confirmation on Emily's son. She's with her sister. I was like, okay, we good. Pretty much Emily is pretty much still scared of Miguel. She has no idea what Miguel is, and she thinks he's going to pretty much come back for his son. So that's the thing about it, and that's what she's pretty much coming into play with. She's pretty much trying to stay to herself just in case he does pop back up, and she don't want him to know where the son at or whatever. As far as the accounting, that's where this episode pretty much takes a left turn, and pretty much a turn for really dark. I mean, it went dark. The Mayans, we got Easy and Angel, and some of the guys as far as from Chaka's group. And I'm sorry if I'm saying this guy's name wrong, the bald-headed guy from the other Mayans clan who was trying to kill Bishop, and Easy and them who was trying to kill the other Mayans, Sandra Pedro, Chaka's group. We got two different sides as far as from the Mayans who was trying to help get this accounting across the border. But like I said, by the end of this episode, it got really dark. And this accountant, his whole thing was he had to bring his son with him, which I didn't mention earlier, but yeah. And they was already having a thing like, no, we only supposed to be taking you. It's going to be hard enough getting you, but now we're trying to get you and your child. We can't do that. He was hell bent as far as this accountant who has all the control and knows everything about the money for the cartel leader that they're working for now. He is pretty much hell bent on taking his son with him. So by the end of this episode, everybody's pretty much done fell asleep or whatever, and they out in the middle of the desert or whatever, because they pretty much have to camp out because they see either border patrol or other people, dangerous people in Mexico, out and about or whatever. So they pretty much camp out and wait for a little bit of daylight or whatever to keep moving. But anyway, they pretty much are sleeping. They wake up and the accountant and his son are missing, and Angel the ones that wakes up first, and he pretty much going to look and see like where they at or whatever. And he ends up coming across the accountant and his son, and the accountant is pretty much trying to sexually assault his son. Yes, the Angel, like any of us, whoever seen some shit like that, would have shot this nigga. Like, gone, boom, you out of here. And I was like, hell yeah, get this fuck out of here. Honestly, though, I wish he just would have whooped his ass a good bit. And I think that's what probably they gonna try to say, because we gotta remember, as much like this is some crazy shit, and it was dark as fuck. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, once again, Angel wakes up to find the accountant that they trying to move across the border, trying to sexually assault his son, and he straight up kills him on sight, kills him. It's over. So now that's pretty much that's coming into play, and that's what leaves us going into episode 4. Angel shoots the accountant that was trying to sexually assault his son, and that's where you have pretty much Easy now trying to find out what the hell going on, because you got to remember they are working for this new cartel leader, and this cartel leader, the accountant that they just shot, he's the only one that knows everything as far as the money, and I mean the only one that knows as far as the money, the overseas and all the accounts or whatever, and what's going on with the money. So the fact that they done killed this guy now is going to make a bigger problem for them in trying to explain it to the cartel member that they are working for. And as far as anybody who's confused, it's a similar situation where if you watch the show, you're not confused, but it's a similar situation how they was working with Miguel's cartel or whatever. Speaking of Miguel, we do get him in this episode. And I knew as far as last episode, episode 3, when Emily brought his name up, I said, okay, we're probably going to get something from Miguel, find out what's going on with him. And Miguel is out here, he going to it. You talking about a former cartel member. He ain't no cartel member right now. He is basically working on a farm with animals, whatever, in the middle of Mexico, and he's having his own problems because people are still trying to kill him. So he's pretty much, I mean, if this the guy you worried about, I think you are good. Honestly, I think you are good. But I'm just gonna be curious. I'm really interested to see where they go with this, and I was honestly happy to see Miguel return. So I'm very curious to see where they go with this, as far as Miguel and what he's going to be doing, or how long this is going to be able to last for him staying on this little farm or whatever. Because like I said, it already a situation that happened where people are still trying to kill him or whatever. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go with that. Not only that though, as far as the cartel member that the new Mayans work for, a lot, if not most of Miguel's ex-workers are working for this guy. And that's the thing that comes into play with him and his sister as far as this cartel leader. And I'm sorry I can't remember this guy's name. It's the El Benico something, man. I'm sorry. But it comes into play as far as mentioning when he have a argument with his little sister as far as the cartel leader. And the situation is that a lot of Miguel's people, after they pretty much start working for Miguel, and Miguel went on the run, you know, when he had to run from the FBI or whatever, they started working for this new cartel member, and it's a lot of Miguel's ex-workers or whatever. So I wonder if they're going to bring that into play as far as if Miguel end up trying to regain his organization or trying to come back into play, because you know they could do that thing where, you know, Miguel is out, he's out, like, as far as him being down and out or whatever, but then he trying to make his big comeback, because I'm telling you, he down and out. That's why I say Emily should be good. She ain't got nothing to worry about right now as far as Miguel go. But yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they do with that. But we pretty much, as far as the Sons and the situation, I mean, not the Sons, I'm sorry, we're going to talk about them, but the Mayans, they end up coming back and explaining to Chaka and Alvarez what happened as far as them killing the accountant. They tell them straight up what the situation was. And you still got Chaka pretty much saying how he going to explain it to the cartel leader. And Alvarez telling his ass they did the right thing as far as Angel and Bishop. I mean, as far as Angel and Easy, as far as killing the guy, because they don't protect no child touches or whatever he said. Hell no, I'm with it. Like, get this nigga out of here. And like I said, I'd rather them actually would beat his ass to death or something. I'd like whoop his ass, if anything. I'm just saying. But it was really interesting to see how they going to deal with that, because we don't get too much as far as the cartel leader in this episode and how he's going to pretty much react to that. But the guy ain't right anyway. In the beginning of episode 3, the way he's doing with these two guys he's talking to, you can tell he's not right as far as this new cartel leader they're working for. I mean, he's not Miguel. Miguel was a little bit more collective as far as thinking. This guy pretty much seems like he's out there. But other than that, Bishop, my man Bishop is still on his power trip, his ego trip shit. And that's where we get Easy pretty much coming in. And you end up getting Easy pretty much knocking his ass on his ass, man. One thing about Easy, and I like those, this punching this scene. This shit seems real. It seems like he might have actually hit him a little, maybe a little bit. But even with the sound effect, he not, man. I'm surprised his ass wasn't knocked out. But Easy punched the shit out of Bishop in this episode, man. And then that trailer, I honestly thought that was going to come from something else. But seeing what they do with it is basically Easy letting Bishop know, nigga, I'm vice president. Respect your VP. It was a good scene though, man. But Bishop is pretty much almost out of control. He really is, man. My man is doing drugs and shit. Like, it's gonna be crazy to see how this play out with Bishop. And I'm wondering if we gonna get Bishop getting took out this season, Maisie. Possibly. I don't know, but yeah. Another thing with Easy, man, is he's pretty much on that Jax Teller shit almost. As far as the whole thing with the club and trying to take the club in I ain't gonna say, well, not really necessarily in a better direction, but as far as just making sure everybody stays together mostly is what his thing is, because he feels like Bishop and Chaka and the things they have going on as far as this whole ego trip and the thing they are going through is going to be the downfall of the Mayans. And Alvarez ends up giving Easy like this transcript of the original Mayans, like this whole history behind the Mayans. And after him going through that, he pretty much have a conversation with Alvarez like, yo, we need to do something with Bishop and them. Like, we ain't gonna, like, they gonna be the downfall and we need to do something with them. And that's what I said, it's gonna be interesting to see how they play this out between Bishop and them. Other than that, man, we have the Sons. And pretty much after the whole situation with them, and they end up getting some information on the jacket, because the girl who ends up finding the jacket, she ends up bringing it to one of the Sons of Anarchy members, which I think that happens in episode 2. Yeah, I think that happens in episode 2. So they're pretty much waiting on a clear answer, and the answer they're waiting on happens to be from Chibbs. So that's why I was like, oh, okay, maybe we about to get some original Sons of Anarchy to come into play. I'm waiting on that. I'm hoping we do get that. There's going to be some great moments and some great Easter eggs. Like I said, though, I got to remember who all left, because if I'm not mistaken, it went but Happy, Chibs and Tig, right? I love to see Tig though. Tig was the original of the original. I'd be happy just to see him, because I was happy when we had Happy come up on the scene or whatever on season 2, what was season 2, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to see how they do this, because we pretty much got a situation with the Suns pretty much getting the green light to start this war with the Mayans. And like I said, you already had the Mayans having their own little interwar going on with themselves, basically like this own civil war that they got going on. So it's going to be crazy to see how the rest of this plays out. And I want to apologize if it's certain characters that I didn't mention. We dealing with a lot. I just wanted to get to the main things, because we also got my other guy who's doing some rehab things or whatever. I forgot my man's name, a member from the Mayans. Like, I'm sorry, man, but he has like this little love interest going on, and I didn't mention him, but he has some things going on too. But overall, like I said, I just wanted to go over some of the main things, especially dealing with the Mayans and their inter-turmoil they have going on with their little beef they going on with themselves. But not only that, the whole thing with the Sons of Anarchy and how they about to try to start this whole war. Then what Easy has going on, and Angel with the whole thing with the baby or whatever he has coming. And like I said, we have Miguel coming back into play. It's going to be interesting to see how this go moving forward, man. But that's pretty much what I have as far as my review for Mayans MC Season 4, Episodes 1 through 4. Like I said, moving forward, I will be doing weekly reviews going into Episode 5. So be tuned in for that this week. Like I said, I was on strike from YouTube this week. So y'all going to be getting this after while I'm on strike right now. But moving forward, I will be doing weekly reviews into the season finale as far as Mayans MC Season 4. I'm definitely enjoying this season so far, like I said. One thing about Mayans, though, it is definitely not as interesting as Sons of Anarchy, the original series. I'm going to be honest, it's not. Easy, I feel like he's a good character. I like to follow his character. Don't get me wrong. I feel like he has an interesting story, and I'm glad we are getting like tidbits of his backstory. We're not getting his full backstory. We know some things, but we don't know everything, and I like that. But Jax was just, he had that draw. It was something about, like, you wanted to get engaged with him, man. And even with Jax, his backstory, we know, we got that, you know what I'm saying, things with his father, whatever, and all that, with JT and all of that. But still, I would love to see, like, a little prequel to come up with them or whatever. But as far as overall shows, Sons of Anarchy just had so much. And I think it worked, too. They had a lot more dark humor with theirs, too. Mayans is way more serious than some. Like, I'm honestly to be honest, I'm trying to think about a lot of the dark humor that I didn't think they had, but I think a lot of it plays into Kurt Sutter not being a part of the series too. That probably plays a lot into it too. But anyway, y'all let me know how y'all feeling about this new season of Mayans MC Season 4. Not only that, y'all let me know how y'all feeling about it as far as the original Sons possibly coming back into play. Y'all let me know about how y'all feeling about that. Other than that, man, make sure you hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. This is the road to 500 subs. Shout out to all my new subscribers who have recently subscribed to me, even though I ain't been on my channel for a week because I had a strike. I appreciate it. We will be back this week. Like I said, shout out to everybody who's been checking me out. Other than that, man, we out.
Our sins, repaying with bloodshed. Mayans against Mayans.
Find the mother who did this. Who come at us?
I need to know where everybody's orgies lie.
I actually don't want a problem.
No, I don't think you
I don't ever want a problem. But when they say they want a problem, I say no problem. That's it.